What's going on, everybody? This is episode 7 of What Comic Books Have Taught Me. Now, of course, the character being Vegeta here. This isn't really a comic book character, it's more so of a manga character, but you guys voted on it. If you guys wanted to see what characters I'm gonna do next, I also will post some video ideas. Go ahead, I'll drop my Instagram account in the description below. Go ahead and follow that so you can be participating in all the polls and I can count your votes and all that good stuff. But today, episode 7 of what comic books have what comics have taught me. Episode 7 being Vegeta. One thing I'll say about Vegeta, he's pretty much been he's one of those characters that's actually been around majority of my life. Going back to Cartoon Network and Nicktoons, which they played reruns of Dragon Ball Z Kai on Nicktoons, and that was my first. That was pretty much my very first anime that I probably have seen, not counting Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I started because most people started on Dragon Ball, which that was a little bit before my time. I started on Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then it just went from there, from Dragon Ball Z Kai to Dragon Ball Z, and then I finally went back to look at Dragon Ball later on, and then came Dragon Ball GT, and then all the information about Dragon Ball AF. A lot of people don't even know about that, about Dragon Ball AF, and then later became Dragon Ball Super. So, Vegeta, obviously my favorite character when it comes to the Dragon Ball series. But this is one of the things that he has taught me, being a manga character. Now, this is the only piece of manga I really have straight from Japan, by the way. But I think at this point I kind of know a lot about Vegeta to the point to where I can speak on this and I can put him in this episode. So, first thing that he taught me was there's power in pride, but you must learn how to control it. Now, those who know about the Vegeta character, he's a very prideful person. His whole character arc is based off of pride. Coming from a race of aliens, a race of beings who love to fight, who are a very, very prideful race, he carries out on his sleeve everywhere he goes. Rather it's at the stage to where he's all alone, rather it's at the stage to where he's found a family, even at the stage where he's a grandpa, he always carries that Saiyan pride. He's a Saiyan at heart. He's a full-blooded Saiyan, unlike the other Z fighters like Trunks and Goten, who are half-blood Saiyans. But that's neither here or there. So he pretty much learns on the way throughout his whole entire journey, from Dragon Ball Z Kai to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball GT to even Dragon Ball Super, to where being prideful about things isn't bad at all. It's only when you let your pride get to you and makes you to make decisions based on prideful things, that's where you mess up. And that's pretty much what I learned when it came to the character Vegeta. Me growing up as an athlete, I was really, really prideful in my craft. I was really, really prideful to the point I took everything personal. Once you take it that far, that's where you let your ego and your pride really get to you, even to the smallest things. So a character like Vegeta is a really relatable arc when it comes to that. The second thing that he taught me is even a prince who's lost everything can learn to grow. Now, what do I mean by that? In this series, Vegeta is obviously a villain. He started off as a villain. He was presented as a villain. It wasn't really until maybe Dragon Ball Z Kai, the Planet Namek saga, maybe Frieza saga, to where he started slowly becoming a good guy, because him and Goku, aka Kakarot, they had the same enemy, which was Lord Frieza. Lord Frieza was the one who's pretty much, spoiler, but Lord Frieza was pretty much the one who annihilated the whole entire Saiyan race, killing his family and extincting his family. The whole entire race gone extinct. Him and Vegeta are pretty much like the only two Saiyans, pure blooded Saiyans left, up until you get Brawly. which he is also a full-blood Saiyan. But again, that's neither here or there. That's for a video for another day. But when it comes to Vegeta, he's pretty much lost everything from his family to his heritage. If the things that he was used to as a kid, to even killing his own henchman Nappa. That's literally how prideful he is. So if that character can pretty much go from that to being super prideful and still being kind of prideful but under control, to getting a family, to being a better man, you know, like even a prince who's lost everything can grow. The last thing that I say that the Vegeta character taught me is there are other ways to express yourself. What do I mean by that? Me being a martial artist, I train in Muay Thai. The reason why I got into, well, actually, I would say that for story time for another video. But me being a martial artist, it's a way to express yourself. The same way how basketball was a way to express myself. The same way how my love for comic books is a way to express myself, which is what I'm doing now. Everybody has their own ways to express themselves, to express, how their emotions, what they're dealing with, their own personal story, their own personal triumphs, etc., etc. It could be gaming, it could be arts and crafts, it could be painting, it can be music, rapping. There's multiple ways to express yourself, and the Vegeta character is one of the first characters in my life that taught me that. There's other ways to express yourself. For me at the time, the way how I expressed myself was through basketball. How he expressed himself was through just fisticuffs, through fighting and the martial arts, the art of fighting, which he also learned later on. I think maybe about Dragon Ball GT or Dragon Ball Super. I can't really remember. But that's all I really have for you guys. Pretty short one, pretty simple, pretty direct. Number one, there's power and pride, but you must learn how to control it. Even a prince who's lost everything can learn to grow, and there are multiple ways to express yourself. So make sure you find it. You guys have a good day.